Hello, I'm back again. This is Gail Daly for eXp Realty on behalf of Marcus Dilly, the producer. This is our second in a series of 3 videos about recruiting for your future. And we're hoping that this will make life a bit simpler and a bit better approach to the actual mechanics of recruiting. I will be attaching a PowerPoint to this video. So if you have any reason or problem downloading, please contact me, okay? And I am Gail Daly at gmail.com, and I'll also post that in the comments, okay? So you can contact me with questions anytime, but I'm sure that if you've gotten this far in real estate, you're pretty darn smart. So chances are you probably won't need a lot of my extras, but I'll throw them in because it's helpful. One of the things that I wanted to say is that it is extremely important that you stay organized in your approach. In our video 101, we talked about making 2 calls a day, which will result in 60 calls a month. And if you have a 20% success ratio, you will recruit 12 agents a month, or if you even have a 1% success ratio, you'll recruit 6 agents a month. And that's pretty good. And that'll set you up for your retirement, which is really what we're talking about here. Real estate is real estate, but your retirement is something that will all of a sudden pop up, and you need to be ready for that. And this is the one thing that can help you. You vested in 3 years, so once you get to that point, then you can consider other avenues or building a team and backing off a bit and letting everybody else benefit from your efforts. And this will provide the income when you recruit people. It'll provide the income that you'll need to continue and not have to start every year at square one, which is one of the biggest reasons I'm sure that you came with eXp. So let's start with the idea of organizing how we're going to approach recruiting. What you want to do is to create a list, and I'll provide that for you. You want to create a list of people to call. You're going to start out probably with people that you know or that you've had business dealings with before. Recruiting a team is wonderful, but depending on your level of expertise, you might want to start with individuals that are out in companies that are actually earning 50-50 splits. And the reason for that is not only are they not earning what they should be at a 50-50 split, but the amount of support that they're getting is very low. And there's better splits out there, and I'm sure they know it, but they really don't know how to take the first step. So when you contact them, what you're going to do is lay the groundwork for calling them back. And you don't want to be a pest, and you don't want to stalk anybody, but you're going to want to call them back because you're going to plant a seed. So you may have to contact a person 1 or 2 times, and how often do you do that? Well, it depends on your conversation, and that's why it's important to keep good records. I use a spreadsheet. I use Excel. You can use any method that you want. If you have a contact management system, that's fine, as long as you designate it in complete, understandable, traceable follow-up methods. What you want to do is, when you're talking to anyone, you're not calling them to interrupt their life, and you're not calling them to uproot their business. What you're doing is you're calling them with an idea. That's the main thing. And as a friend of mine said, the main thing is the main thing. You're calling them with an idea to consider. And if that's all that you can get across in the first 5 to 10 minutes, because you don't want to take too much of their time, because they're not going to want to talk to you again if you do. So you want to keep it short, and you want a 2 to 5 minute conversation. Now, If they start asking you questions and they get into the woods with the details, you may get tripped up. The important thing to remember is to plant the seed and to invite them to a meeting, because really it's hard to do over the phone anyway. To be fair to them, they need to see the program in person, and they need to take the time to do it, and they owe it to themselves. So in a nutshell, I just gave you the reason that they need to come. They owe it to themselves. So that being said, the next time, if you have to call them back in a couple of weeks and say, you know what, this might not be a good time, I just want to talk to you for a minute, and then I'll get back to you later. Or you tell me when to call you back. Because not everybody's going to be ready to talk when they answer the phone. They may be right in the middle of a showing. You know how agents are. They answer their phone no matter what. So here's the thing. When you follow up, you can ask them at that point, have you had a chance to consider opening your future up to a whole new way of doing business? Because that's what I'm offering you. And you know you're not committed. And it's a lunch. And it's food. And realtors love food. So the thing you want is to get them to come to the meeting. It may take 2 calls. It may take 3. Or they may never come at all. I think you can tell when somebody kind of is interested. So you want to put them on a follow-up. If they completely shut you down, I wouldn't call them back for a year. Because they're not going to want to listen and they're going to get aggravated. You don't want to do that because now you're a piranha. Okay? Now what you want to do is, as you follow up with people and you get them to come, remember your goal. The main thing is the main thing, right? Your goal is to make 60 calls a month, which is 2 calls a day. So 2 calls a day. Hopefully, you'll get a 20% response. You may only get 1%. That's 6 per month. And if you don't, keep going. Put them on a follow-up. Move to the next one. That's how you do it. I made 992 calls in 8 months. That's all I did, okay? But in 8 months, I made 992 calls. I recruited 110 agents. That's a lot. And the company I was with at the time, you had to pay to join. You don't have to pay to join EXP. I do want you to acknowledge when you're talking to somebody and they're really not responsive. Part of the reason why they may not be responsive is none of us really want the upheaval in our lives of changing business from one company to another. The cards, the signs, and all the other things that go along with it, and it takes time. So the main thing is you need to acknowledge that. But it's so important that they focus on their future, that's got to be the main message, and that they will owe it to themselves to find out what it's about. And if that doesn't serve them, that's fine. They're not obligated, and they get lunch, so that's a good thing. The other thing I will tell you is, once you talk to somebody, make sure you follow up with an email and tell them you appreciate their time. And here's your contact information. Should they give consideration or have more questions or really do want to come to a meeting, they can contact you. They'll have that information. So don't forget, every time you talk to somebody, send them an email and thank them. That's important. Try to be there at the meeting when they come and sit with them. I think you're going to do really well if you follow the simple formula of making your recruiting calls every day, 2 a day. Set aside the time. Early morning is the best. It's the best time to get a hold of anybody because they're not tired. They're usually not in the middle of something. It's the best time. They're having coffee. It's a good coffee talk. So with that said, I will be posting shortly a PowerPoint of some responses that you may need just to review when you're speaking with somebody, as well as a sheet, an Excel PowerPoint sheet that you'll be able to use. Just an example of keeping track of your people. Because it is a side business and it takes a little time and you don't want to waste your time, so you do want to keep records. Okay? Well, that's it. This is session 102. Stand by. We'll be doing another video shortly, number 103. Okay. Goodbye for now. This is Gail Daly. Take care and good luck. Bye-bye.